It is no surprise that many of us feel the need to catch more Z's, more shut-eye. But, some of us feel tired all the time. So how can we tell if it's something more? Well, if that urge to sleep is overwhelming and irresistible, it may be excessive daytime sleepiness, or EDS. It's one of the most common complaints people make to sleep specialists, and one that can be seen in a variety of sleep disorders, including narcolepsy, which you may have heard of. Joining with us with much more on this now is Dr. Raj Dasgupta. Welcome, Dr. Raj. Great to have you here.
Hey, thank you very much. And I'm so happy to be here talking about a condition I'm very passionate about, which is going to be narcolepsy.
Well, and we want to drill down on this a little bit. Let's talk about this first piece here. We know there's been a recent survey done talking about excessive daytime sleepiness, maybe even on the job, at your office, at your desk. What can you tell us about that part?
Well, this survey was done by Jazz Pharmaceuticals, and I teamed up with them to help raise awareness about narcolepsy. And what this survey was to determine if Americans knew the difference between being tired and excessive daytime sleepiness. And surprisingly, 63% of individuals did not know the difference. So how do I explain it to you? So last night, I have two beautiful kids. They kept me up. So today I'm very, very tired, but don't worry. I won't sleep on your show, but I'm not sleepy. So excessive daytime sleepiness is this irresistible urge to sleep. And unfortunately, it is the hallmark for individuals who suffer from narcolepsy. And these individuals will have this attacks of sleepiness during inopportune times, during work, during school, during this interview, which is why we need to raise awareness about this disorder.
Well, and I think it's a great point. You talk about excessive daytime sleepiness, and many of us have known someone who had that narcolepsy affliction, where they would fall asleep kind of randomly in the middle of the day. But this is so key because this affects like our afternoon productivity. I mean, there's a lot on the line in getting proper sleep and proper treatment if you have EDS.
Exactly. And I want to say this, that EDS, many things can cause it. Sleep deprivation, obstructive sleep apnea. But when we talk about narcolepsy, all patients will have that as the hallmark. And you mentioned a very important thing about people fainting almost. So when we talk about narcolepsy, there's an accessory symptom called cataplexy. What is that? It's going to be this kind of fainting, loss of muscle tone when you're exposed to intense emotions like laughter and being excited or sadness. But it doesn't always have to be what Hollywood portrays it as, where your head flops into a cereal bowl and Fruit Loops go flying everywhere. That this cataplexy can be very, very subtle. It could be buckling of the knees, weakness of the hand, even in the face, just a blurring of your vision or slurring your speech. So in order to identify it, you need to see a physician who knows how to make the correct diagnosis.
Absolutely. One more thought. I mean, I guess a lot of us do reach for that cup of coffee, a jolt. But maybe I would think one symptom, if that cup of coffee is just not getting it done anymore, if it's just not having that effect, that could also be a warning sign.
Yes, and you know what? I can't believe you mentioned Jolt Cola. Is that even on the market anymore? But when we talk about, but you're right. Let me say about the two Qs. So when you talk about getting good sleep, first it's going to be the quantity, meaning that are you trying to get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep, which is recommended by the American Academy of Sleep Medicine. But if you're still having excessive daytime sleepiness or fatigue, then the next Q is quality. Are you going to the deeper stages of sleep to feel refreshed? And that's why it's important, if you're experiencing excessive daytime sleepiness, to get evaluated. And I wanted to say one thing is that there is a website to really help out my patients who think they may suffer from narcolepsy called morethantired.com. And this is what narcolepsy is, being more than tired. And the website does three main things. It gives you more facts like we're talking about today. Number two is that there's a questionnaire. So if you think you or a loved one may suffer from narcolepsy, take the questionnaire. And last, it connects you to a sleep physician in your area. That's morethantired.com.
I love it. We'll check that website out. Dr. Raj, Mr. Energy himself, thanks for being here, sir. And we will be back with more. We'll be back with more Midday Maryland right after this. Stay tuned.